following podcast is recorded and produced by the Podcast Precinct in affiliation with the network at bicbp-radio.com. The Podcast Precinct. Consistency, creativity, culture.
The Nostalgia Funhouse proudly dedicates all episodes in the loving memory of Connie Chirac.
Look out, it's 730's worst kept secret.
You've heard of this, have you?
Everybody's talking about the show where consenting adults play games with Richard Dawson. You just can't lose.
Sometimes I don't think it's worth it.
Two families squaring off. With a host who always knows when to quit.
Family's a bummer.
Be there for the showdown at sundown with the quickest lip in the West.
This is not the Tony Show.
It's the Family Feud, Monday through Thursday at 7:30 here on 7.
Hey, whoa, slow down there, running man. No need to get in a hurry. This is the Nostalgia Running House. I'm Johnny. He's Will, and he's Andrew. Andrew, what in the blue heck are we talking about today?
We are talking about my favorite Arnold movie. And I'm not saying it's the best. I'm just saying
it's your favorite. Yeah.
My favorite Arnold. You got to do that to the people out in the internet land, to most of them.
Yeah.
It is The Running Man.
In the year 2017, an innocent man accused of a crime has a choice: hard time or prime time.
Sensational. Perfect contestant. I want him.
He must pay or play the running man.
On your mark.
I'll be back.
Go!
The highest rated TV show in history.
Guess they want us to stay.
It's a game between life and death.
Give you a lift?
Arnold Schwarzenegger is the running man. He's playing for a prize. The prize is his life.
How about the life?
The running man.
Now, that blew my mind that this is your favorite Arnold. I'm sure there's a story behind it. I would hope, because this doesn't even crack my top 5 Arnold movies.
Oh no, definitely top 5. Like this is a great film. But I say this is like, there's definitely phases to Arnold's career.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. There's more Arnold quips in this movie than Peter Parker could ever hope to do.
I just found out that this was an independent film, so it adds way more to.
Yeah.
I understand way more now.
There's a lot
about this movie.
Yeah, the one thing that really I never noticed it before this last viewing. There's a lot of dubbed in dialogue.
Yes,
that clearly was not originally recorded.
Oh yeah.
That was put in after the fact. I don't know how I didn't notice it before, but it really stood out to me.
My favorite part of this whole movie is, again, Arnold says like 15 quips easily, something like that. There's a quip a minute, like he had to split, stuff like that he says all the time. But my favorite part is everybody else around him when he says it to no sells it. I felt like it was me and Will telling jokes and Andrew just trying to get the show going.
Yeah, and a lot of the quips are just totally not. They take you out of the tone of that moment for sure.
Yes.
Oh, come on.
No, I'm not saying it's a bad thing.
It's my favorite part.
Yeah, I'm not saying it's bad, but like it definitely rides that tone of the Arnold movies, the R-rated Arnold movies, where it's like, what is this? Is this comedy? Is this action? Like, is this?
Yeah,
everything.
It's great, is what it is.
And Andrew, I don't think you even realized you did this, but this is the second week in a row where we have two things that were related to each other. Last week we did the album from Muse, and this week there's a lady in this movie who has Stockholm syndrome.
I don't think she has Stockholm syndrome.
Oh,
But
Every damsel in distress that is with Arnold.
He kidnaps the hell out of her.
What a
And
great
she-
quote too, though, when she's like, "I should have gone to Hawaii," and he goes, "I had the shirt for it, but you." I forget exactly what he says, but you
As
ruined
he's-
it or something.
As he's forcing her to go around, grabbing her by the neck.
Yeah,
when she
I
says
could
that
break your neck like a twig, like
she's
a
gonna puke on the Hawaiian shirt.
yeah.
I'm gonna puke on your shirt, and he's like, "With this shirt, I don't think it would matter."
I will say I'm going to save it for when we get to it. There's one very pivotal plot point in this movie that doesn't make any sense, and I
There's
can't
a
wait.
few of them. There are a few of them.
There is a lot. Like I was watching, like this morning, I couldn't sleep, so I was like, I'm just gonna watch some like behind the scenes stuff, some stories. I guess this went way over budget. One of the financiers or producers sold a wheelchair factory that he owned. Like there is so much more stuff to this, and I didn't realize it was an independent film. And
I didn't know that either.
yeah, that this is not a big studio thing right here in the good old Richard Bachman novel, because Stephen King wanted to use a different name.
Well, yeah, he was at a point in his career where he felt the pressure of the expectation from Stephen King, so he just started making stories under his Richard Bachner name, and then that name almost got as big as Stephen King, and it was like everybody knew it was just Stephen King.
What was the Christopher Gaines with Garth Brooks, but this was actually successful. So my story behind this, it's got to probably be because this came out in 87. I'm guessing 88. All right. You know, dad picks me and my brother up for the weekend, you know, do the Blockbuster or whatever probably 88 Video Factory thing, and then go there, and I pick out my little movie, you know, get a game. Then my dad gets a movie, and he's like, "Hey, we're watching this typical 80s dad fashion. Hey, we're watching this movie. It's called The Running Man." Okay, so I'm watching it. You know, there's action. There's Arnold. What kid doesn't love Arnold?
Guy in the first 5 minutes get his head blown off.
Yeah, I remember that as a kid. But you gotta remember, I'm kind of desensitized also to RoboCop, Conan, and everything else, Commando that I watched as a kid. This is a great. So this is one of my. It's a favorite Arnold and childhood movie, I would have to say.
It was a wild combo.
Yeah, well, like I said, nobody in my family.
We had different childhoods. Like my favorite childhood Arnold movies got to be like either Last Action Hero or Kindergarten Cop.
Oh no, it's The Running Man.
Terminator 2 is probably my all-time favorite, but that seems like an easy pick because it's just a classic movie. But yeah,
Total Recall for me all day.
Oh, that's a good one too. Yeah.
We should do a top 6 Arnold list.
I'm not going to watch 6 Arnold.
This is a pretty
no. Like we just make our list. We're not.
Okay. I'm cool with
we
that.
just make our list.
All right, I'm cool with that.
This is really like, in hindsight, like a star-studded cast too. Like,
yes.
Like obviously Richard Dawson was known for his game show past. You got Jim Brown,
never saw a lady
famed NFL running back.
Yep.
You got Jesse Ventura.
He was the second all-time leading rusher in NFL history, I do believe.
Yeah.
If not the all-time leading rusher in NFL history.
I love how he's listed as Professor Tanaka.
Because that's his wrestling name.
It's so great. I love it.
Because even if you watched in the movie, and I just caught it, they call him Sub-Zero, but when they introduce him, they call him Professor Sub-Zero.
Yeah, they do.
Do they really? Wow.
Yes. Yeah.
And I never realized that Frank Zappa's son is in this.
Yeah, Dweezil Zappa.
Dweezil Zappa. Yaphet Kotto, who's just a legend. Kurt Fuller, who's like in every 80s and 90s action film.
Always playing kind of a sleazy guy. Yeah.
No hold.
Edward Bunker. I didn't realize Edward Bunker was in this. He plays Mr. Brown in Reservoir Dogs.
Oh, really?
Yeah. And then Sven, obviously the bodyguard. Every time I looked at him, I was just thinking Mallrats the entire time.
Hey.
Like, he will always be Mallrats for me.
Johnny, did you recognize Sven? Not from Mallrats, but from something else we reviewed.
What?
That is Michael Tank Ellis from Captain Power.
Oh, okay, gotcha. Yeah.
Good
The
old.
cartoon. Yeah.
It's not a cartoon. It's live
Oh, the
action.
movie.
Yeah.
What cartoon am I thinking about? Is a video game related?
This actually, I found out this.
Oh, it's because they mixed it. That's what I'm getting confused. They
Oh.
mixed the toys that were interacting
Yeah.
with the show. Yeah.
I actually found out had a video game.
Did you also notice there was a certain person in the crowd watching The Running Man who was also involved in a show that takes place in Philadelphia, as well as a place that has big adventures and has a playhouse?
Paul Rubens is in there.
Nope.
Who? Miss Yvonne?
Yep.
Come on.
Yeah, she's in there. She's one of the person that Richard Dawson talks to when he's talking to the crowd.
Oh, was it the wife? That's like, my kids have their favorite, or is she just an extra?
No, she has a speaking role.
Oh,
She's not the really old lady who swears, who's great, by the way.
yeah. This also inspired a video game as well.
Did it really?
Yes. Do you guys know? Famous, a pretty big arcade game if you're into the arcade scene. It's very cool.
About running.
Think about a crazy game show video game in the arcade.
Oh.
Supermarket Sweep.
No, it was also a Nintendo. And you listen on Nintendo too.
Yep.
I can't remember the name. I know exactly what you're talking about though. It's like a combat arena game type thing.
Yep. Good old Smash TV.
Yeah. Yep.
All right. So let's get into the plot here. I'll take it by like a little bit paragraph by paragraph it away. So it's the year 2017, guys.
Now I do love.
Man, I love when that stuff happens.
When there's an older movie and it says the future, but we've already passed that date, I always love that.
Yeah. It's quite a nice little Easter egg detail.
The worldwide economy has collapsed.
That's not far off.
Yeah, resources are scarce. The United States.
That's not too far off.
The United States has become a totalitarian police state.
Yeah. So far, so good.
Yeah, we're checking those boxes.
They're getting these great. Yeah.
Excuse me. The government maintains control through propaganda, censoring sanctioned art, music, and communications.
Wow, they're nailing this. Yeah.
And the world's
cough, Twitter, X cough.
the most popular TV show is The Running Man, is a state-controlled game show where incarcerated criminals can earn their freedom by surviving as runners against lethal stalkers.
Yeah.
So we're starting out here. We got Captain Ben Richards and
kudos
Arnold.
To the wonderful beard that he's sporting. That's totally legitimate and real. That he grew specially for this film.
Then shaves it off like in 5 seconds.
Yeah.
I would have loved if they don't like they show the shaving scene, but it's him just literally peeling it off.
I would love it too.
Yeah, be like a Cartman when they put that beard on him, they take it off because he's been sleeping. Yeah.
Fun little fact about the guy who gets his head blown off.
We're not even there.
We're not there yet.
Well, we're not there. Hold on. We haven't. He hasn't even done why he's in.
Oh, that's right. The crime. He did the crime. He's doing the time.
Wow, he's still Ben Richards. He's not the butcher of bacon.
Not yet.
Yeah, he's in a helicopter right now.
Yeah,
Will.
Which I found that because they were running so low on money, they had to purchase helicopter scenes from the remake of King Kong.
Oh,
makes sense. That kind of makes sense.
So
this explains also why they use the film from the movie as the video footage of the events.
That's one of the plot points
so
I got
good.
coming up. That's one of the plot points. That's a major plot point.
They ran out of a lot of money.
Bookmark that.
So okay, so also too, this was released November 13, 1987. Budget of 27 million, which I heard 5 million went to Arnold. And then box office in the United States was 38.1 million.
Also made money. Yeah.
Not much, they said. Not a whole lot. The guy had to sell his wheelchair factory. Come on.
Yeah, it's bad.
So we start off with Captain Ben Richards, who's getting arrested after refusing orders to open fire on unarmed people during a food riot.
Yeah.
he is arrested, but
Now, I will say,
he is
this
framed.
helicopter scene that this movie starts out with, the acting in that scene is not good.
I don't.
It stood out to me in how bad it was.
I still love this movie. Just
I am
Yeah, I mean,
again.
none of
I'm
it
gonna
makes sense.
surprise
Who
you,
was
Tim.
flying the helicopter?
yeah, that was my
There's like
thing.
minutes where there's like nobody flying the helicopter.
Yeah, well, yeah,
It's
'cause they're not taking the
autopilot.
other guy.
It's 2017 in the future, and
Oh,
this is
okay.
Yeah.
1987.
I also love that in 1980 in 2017, the future cars look just like cars in 1987, but with like extra paneling.
Yeah,
They
that's
covered
I-
that with how terrible the economy is.
Yeah,
Okay?
I love
Nobody
this
can
whole.
afford new cars.
I love
I was
this
like
whole entire
Cuba.
thing where
Yeah.
everything in this is supposed to be set in 2017, but everything looks like it is 1987.
Especially that sweet limousine.
Oh,
Yeah, so he gets arrested.
Yep.
Yeah,
18
And
months
for-
later, he's in a prison camp with two resistant fighters because there's a resistant because of the government. Harold Weiss and William Laughlin, and then they get the code to get out because there's like a electric fence, but this electric fence, it's an invisible electric fence like you might have because they all wear collars.
and
But
these collars will trigger your head to explode.
Yeah,
Just like Suicide Squad.
explosive.
Now, what were you going to say, Will, about this guy who?
So
gets
that's
blown off?
actually
Oh, yeah.
it's the
So,
same
right.
actor who played Carter in the Lost World Jurassic Park sequel. And the only reason I remember that was because
Oh,
he
yeah.
was the one who was listening to the music.
Yeah.
And then the other guy, when he's getting eaten by compies, he says his name like 100 times. So yeah, that actor always stuck out to me. And I noticed, I'm like, he looks familiar. And yes, the gentleman who gets his head blown off because he's too anxious to get the hell out of there. Such a good effect too. Just the head just clean pop like a pimple.
Yeah.
So good.
Can I just also say that I love this part too when they're trying to enter in the code and they can't because of the walls, and all I'm
Yeah.
thinking is the Wi-Fi signal must be horrible at this point.
Terrible.
Going on in
Just
there.
terrible.
There's too
Also
much
love-
metal.
This also does that movie thing where, like, literally the second after that guy dies, they take the fences down.
Yeah,
Yeah.
well, you have
Yeah.
to. You got to show what it is.
Yeah. Yeah,
I
the guy
still
guy could have waited
remember
like a
watching
second.
That guy's
Yeah.
head just blow up.
Yeah.
As a child.
Of course, yeah, it's a nice kid moment.
I like how he's running at the guy too with the other computer. I almost got to him, but his head popped right beforehand.
Yeah, I will say also for a movie called Running Man, they do run in this, but like I've seen more running in a Tom Cruise film.
I can't stand Tom.
Well, that's all he does.
There was also
Arnold was in the middle of a bulk phase. He can't do too much cardio.
at the end. There was also Arnold wasn't even the first choice. I found out. So I'll tell you the two other choices that I guess they wanted for this one.
Oh, excited for this.
So they escape.
Let us guess when we get to that. See if we can get who they were.
Okay. So they all escape and they go and they get their little collars removed by the resistance. And of course, this is not a very long movie, 101 minutes. So,
An hour and 40. Yeah.
yeah. So we got to make sure that we get that in where these guys don't really like Arnold because
He's the butcher of Bakersfield.
Yes, but yet they want to air the truth on the thing. And Arnold's like, I didn't do it. And they're like, oh no.
I don't think they had
Yes,
that
you
footage
did.
at this time, though.
No, they didn't, but
No, they've always had the footage.
No, not of Arnold.
No,
though.
like not
They had the
like
footage of
people.
yeah.
They don't have the people don't see the actual footage.
Oh, yeah.
It's like like he escapes, he tries to go to
Technically, no one should have the footage, but I'll get to that later.
hey, she hides it in a good spot. So he goes and he's like, okay, a good old Ben Richards there is like, I'm gonna go find my brother, but he finds out that his apartment has been rented out by Amber Mendez, a composer, and that she lives there, and his brother was taken for re-education as he kind of just
And he's
across
never
there.
talked about again.
never
He's just gone.
Yep.
But Amber also has censored music and black market clothing.
And she's
yeah.
working out in a negligee.
yeah.
Who works out in a negligee?
Amber
Who-
alert. Am I right,
And who
fellas?
does a workout video but doesn't work out to the workout video?
Jesse
where we see
Ventura, that's who.
Jesse Ventura. That's when we first see
That's a
him.
reoccurring theme in this movie is the synchronized dancing routines by scantily clad ladies, which I'm a
Yes,
big
I feel
fan
like I was
of.
watching. Feel like I was watching Nitro.
It's
You know,
great.
did those dance
Just random
choreography?
Nitro girls just dance for like 5 minutes.
I think that's why I like this is because it's like huge modern day wrestling in a way. Like if they
Oh,
were
for
It kind of
sure.
is.
amp it,
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
they like let's amp this up. But Paul Abdul, I guess, did the choreography for this.
Wow.
They went all out, gentlemen. They went
Now
all out.
I will say I did find it funny there were all these dancing scenes of these ladies, but I did enjoy it.
I love the fact that you got to have a travel pass, and then all I could keep on thinking about was the Fifth Element, even though the Fifth Element was
Oh
after
yeah.
this with
It's a
Lilu.
multi-pass.
Oh, sorry, Lilu Dallas multi-pass, but he takes her travel pass and he books a nice flight to Hawaii and just takes it, and they
Where do
go.
you think he bought that shirt?
Now, question
What?
before we talk about this shirt, why does he force
The
her to
shirt's
go
very
along
important.
with him?
Huh?
Why did he force her to come with him?
I think it's for cover because they're
Yeah.
expecting to find him, not him and a lady.
Yeah,
Because the reason I asked because at the beginning when he first gets in there and he shows himself to her and he goes, "I'm 5 minutes and I'm gone." Basically, is what he says. But that is not at all what happens. He basically makes himself a home and then forces her to come
Well,
with him.
I tell you
I
what, it
think it
also
was-
could have been. It could have been
it's
that
also her
as
travel pass.
well, that's true, but I think the other thing could be that as he was spending time with this lovely lady, his penis started to become engorged with blood, and I think he
So we're at the airport.
Andrew, wait a minute. I'm learning something here. What happened?
We're at the airport and they're about to get on the plane here. I love it too how also fun fact because a lot of people I saw while watching movie reviews of this, they pointed out they were like, "Oh, that airport guy would have nowadays would have never let him by." Now, I'm gonna get a little touchy here. This is
Ooh, okay.
2017 from a 1987 perspective. So 9/11 never happened.
Yeah, right.
So
Yeah.
airport security is probably still as lax as it was back in 1987. They're figuring in 2017.
especially got that old battle axe in the back, just barking orders like, "Come on, we got places to go." You
Oh,
want to
yeah.
avoid that at all
So-
costs.
I have a talking about a funny story. When I was traveling back to the good old New York from Texas, I went to you go to the airport and they tell you where to like line up. And they're like, okay, we're seating these rows. And as I'm leaving Texas, everybody's in this nice straight line. I go to North Carolina and they're like, okay, now boarding to Buffalo, New York. And they're giving it, and everybody is out of order. Just every chaos. Some guy actually reached around me to flash his boarding pass so his would get scanned before mine so he could try and get on the plane before me. And I said, yep, this is the plane to Buffalo, New York. This
Yeah,
is
that
the
sounds
plane.
about right.
Yeah.
Very impatient.
Yes.
In New York, we are very impatient.
But this is where she also yells out all of a sudden, not at any other point, but now she yells out that she is with Ben Richards, the butcher of Bakersfield.
She also gives him a good Polish hammer right to his Polish hammer.
Yeah, she
Oh
does.
yeah. Right to that engorged penis. Am I right, Will?
And here
Yep.
we go. And so he runs away. He gets captured. But before all this, too, Killian is looking for his next runner for the Running Man, and he just doesn't want anybody. He wants
You want someone with
reminded me
endurance.
of like a Vince McMahon. He's like, oh, the guy weighs like 190 pounds. How good
Yep.
could he be? And then he sees Arnold, and he's like, oh
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah, he's a body guy. Yeah, that's for sure.
Yeah.
that's what I want. I'll lock that in.
It's all in the ratings, man. You got to bump those numbers
What do you say? You get 10 points just for the biceps.
just for the biceps alone.
Just for the
Which
biceps.
isn't true because he only got 9 points. They said he got a 9 point.
Well, they put him in that
ratings.
tracksuit. You couldn't see his biceps.
Yeah.
That's their fault. That's wardrobe malfunction.
But they capture him. Plus, two, it's hard because they don't get military prisoners.
Right, yeah. He had to
So
work a
he
deal
had to-
with the government.
Yeah, so he had to like call and pull some strings to get Mr. Richards.
Well, dare I say, it really kind of it's a short-term gain for probably a long-term detriment for Mr. whatever the host's name is for the show.
Killian, Damien.
Yeah, Killian. Yeah.
Richard Dawson.
Yeah, Mr. Dawson.
I have a strong thought on Mr. Richard Dawson's role in this movie. So he also tells Ben Richards that he caught the two friends, Laffin and Weiss, saying, if you don't do this, they're gonna do it. So
yeah, which of course he makes them do it anyway.
Yeah. Well, Johnny,
because he's the bad guy.
Spoiler.
He's the bad guy in this.
So the show starts, and this is where he gets in. He's got Richards in the rocket sled, and then all of a sudden he's like, "Hey, you got buddies? We're gonna bring them along too." And I just remember the rocket sled part as a kid, like hugely.
Oh yeah.
Very.
How could you
like
not?
that-
It's been like an hour of these rocket things. It seems like it takes them forever to get to their destination.
They got to go underneath Los Angeles from the quake of '97.
Yeah.
Remember the quake of '97, don't you?
We all do.
Yeah.
So they go to the abandoned Los Angeles. That's divided into 4 quadrants. The lady picks Sub-Zero. I'm sorry, Professor Sub-Zero. I gotta say his name properly.
Yeah, not the Mortal Kombat guy.
No.
This guy loves hockey. He's kind of more
Test
in line
your
with the
mic.
goon.
Yeah. He's going to test your mic.
That'd be cool if they would have had if they did like a parody of this and they like did a really, really bad, like really, really like good deep cut. It had Mr. Fuji come out right before Ben Richards about to do something, and Fuji threw salt in Ben Richards' eyes to blind him so he can't hurt good old Professor Sub-Zero.
Well, that could backfire if you hit the salt on the ice.
Yeah.
And you're going to limit the abilities of Sub-Zero.
See, well, there you
He'll
go.
be sloshing and sliding all over the place.
Well, maybe that's the thing that could help him. Maybe
that's how he defeats him. Yeah.
I see, yeah.
Instead, Richard,
I give them credit for not leaning into the racial stereotypes for Professor Tanaka.
That's true. Yeah.
I really want to make a mention, especially in this time and in this era. Kudos.
Yeah, you would not have guessed in the 80s that this guy would be a hockey themed player.
Yeah.
Contestant or whatever. Or stalker, sorry. Yeah.
Yeah, he's a stalker, Johnny.
Yeah.
He's a stalker. And how do you skate with goalie pads like that? That's impressive.
He's Professor Tanaka. He's a man.
That is true.
Such a man. Look at him. Glorious.
But they battle. Ben grabs the barbed wire around the rink.
As you do.
And then wraps it around good old Professor Sub-Zero's neck to cut into his throat and kill him. And then he points out a great quip here that he was a real pain in the neck.
Yeah. And it was no salt, as it should have been.
Yep. I love that net too that like just closes on the one guy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I thought there was more like killing at this part, but it's later on.
Yeah.
Why do I remember as a kid that there was?
It's got to slowly crescendo up.
Yeah, like I want to. Well, I don't want.
For Arnold movie, the body count actually isn't that high.
Well, there's only
overall.
There's only so many characters though.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure if this was like a studio funded thing, it would be crazy.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Like we would have had so many. This is more
of a movie funded by a wheelchair place being sold. Yeah,
that makes sense.
I saw that wheelchair factory. So meanwhile, good old Amber is we forgot about this part too, because after they catch him at the airport, they doctor the footage on the news.
And she knows what really happened. And she knows that was a lie. Yeah.
Saying that he like killed guards and hurt these people, but it's a lie. So she sneaks in and she gets I'm guessing a data disc.
That motivation seems pretty lackadaisical. Like in the real world, she'd probably just see the report, go, "Oh, that's not how it happened. Oh well, back to my life." yeah, she's not gonna go out on or
go about. Did she just go back to working out with
maybe
Jesse Ventura?
Maybe she's got a little bit of resistance in her. She's got the music that's on the censored list and black metal clothing. Maybe
I guess they could have played that up a little bit more, but I see where your head's at.
Maybe she wants
character motivations are kind of sketchy at best. She's there for Arnold to smooch.
Arnold literally, like, he starts out the movie doing like an incredibly Like this guy's got morals. Like he's not going to fire on those innocent people who are not armed or anything. You're like, oh man, he's a good guy. And then like 5 minutes later, he's kidnapping this lady and grabbing her by the neck.
He kind of has to. I don't think it's
Dude, no, the life is full of choices, Andrew.
Yeah, but you gotta get you gotta get where you're going, and sometimes you gotta do stuff that
It was the 80s, man. It was
True.
ultimate masculinity.
There's
And
always a choice. Is all I'll say.
Wi-
Always
women-
a choice.
Women just toe the line. That's basically
Yeah,
what this
And she was in
movie
her
is.
lingerie, workout lingerie, but
Yeah.
still.
Yeah, it is the 80s. It's an 80s movie. You gotta,
Yeah, for
Yes.
sure.
but
Like
you
this
gotta
would
do-
never get made this way today.
You gotta do what you gotta do sometimes, though. Maybe that was his best way to get out, man. You gotta do
Yeah.
what you gotta do.
It almost worked till she smacked him in the wiener
Yeah,
and called everybody's attention to who he really was.
the butcher.
Yeah.
The butcher of Baker.
I mean, I thought shaving your beard and putting on a Hawaiian shirt, nobody would know who you are.
it's a lot
Yeah.
of Arnold.
This giant man walking around, nobody would know it's him.
No, especially with such a vibrant
He
shirt
stood
that draws
like
a lot
head
of
and shoulders-
attention.
When he's in that crowd, he stood like head and shoulders above everybody.
Yeah, he's a massive man. He
There's a
passes
lot
the
of-
Vince McMahon airport test.
There's a lot of a lot of Arnold in underwear in this too. Like,
Oh yeah, you gotta have that.
and then you got him when he gets like
Hey,
something.
you get something for the
thing
boys.
implanted. I think you get something implanted in him. But
Yeah,
yeah,
they-
they
yeah,
never
they-
mentioned that again either.
Right. That's another one of my. I'm glad you said that. I forgot about that. Yeah. I mean, there's a whole scene where they're putting stuff in them to get them ready for this game, and that doesn't really seem to come back to be any part of
Yeah.
the plot afterwards.
Yeah, you're right. Guess
Wheelchair
it's just supposed to keep them subordinate, but
What does a wheelchair factory and the movie business have in common? The Running Man.
Yeah, and Muse.
So no, it doesn't have anything to do with Muse.
It's Stockholm syndrome. She definitely had.
So she
His
gets
time was running out, guys.
so she gets captured, and this is another great part of this where they're building up in the show, and they're just lying to kind of like
And
that like
and I have it on
entertainment
good authority.
value.
I have it on good authority that Professor Sub-Zero was an atheist,
So
and as he was dying,
So they get Amber, they throw it in there, and they're building her up like as entertainment that she is Ben Richards' lover. And I love it when
Yeah.
they show the guy because he's like just adding so much flair into all the announcements and he's moving his hands. But she gets sent down too. So they got to fight. And then you get two more stalkers. And I think it's the guy, right? It's a guy, and he can't choose. Sometimes you can't choose
it's just tough. Yeah,
what person you want to see murder somebody.
yeah. Two very different types of fighters, too. By the way.
Yes. So Killian says, why make the choice? So he takes Buzzsaw, who wields a chainsaw, and the electric shooting Dynamo.
This guy was my favorite.
oh, this guy was great.
I'm glad you guys had one because I was going to ask you at the end who's your
Yeah,
favorite.
the Dynamo was my favorite.
Just for his underwear selection.
Yeah, and his singing, like he has to sing, dude. It's so great.
Yeah, like what?
He's an actual opera singer too.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
how great this is. But yeah, I love it how he does. Do you think Rock took his WrestleMania 31 or 32 performance from Dynamo when he lit the Rock sign on fire?
I think he did. I think he was
I got-
heavily influenced.
I do really love that this movie sort of does feel like a 90s fighting game where like all these characters are like vividly different from each other. They have like gimmicks and everything. I really do
But
love
they're
that.
murdering people, which is
Yes.
great.
But
Yeah.
that's what most fighting games were back in
Yeah.
the 90s. I mean, Mortal Kombat, you literally rip the guy's heart out. So
Well, you got to test your mind.
Yeah, Dynamo all day. I mean, the hair choice.
Yeah.
The outfit choice, the singing voice.
because the
Now,
little
I had a rewrite of this
Yeah,
movie.
his little go-kart.
I have a rewrite of this movie that I think I would have loved. I think it's just because of my love of Dynamo. Because we'll get to it. I'll save it for when Andrew gets
Okay.
to it. Yeah.
So I'm pretty much there. So Richards ends up killing Buzzsaw by splitting him in part.
Yeah.
But Weiss
You have to split. Yeah.
Weiss and Amber find the satellite uplink that they needed. I forgot to put that the resistance needed. This was like
To play the
thing
video.
they wanted
Yeah.
to put in there so they could put up their propaganda video and everything.
Yeah.
Expose the government's lies. So they find that the Amber remembers the number, but Dynamo gets
Dynamo uses electricity. That's his kind of his gimmick.
yeah, and he takes out Weiss there.
Yeah.
And then Buzzsaw kills, what is it, Laughing? I want to say. Or
Yeah, because
the two friends are
he gives them they both
perish.
die here. Yeah.
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 Perish away, but Amber has the uplink code, and that's all that matters. Dynamo loses powers and his go-kart flips over.
Yeah.
But Richards spares his life.
Okay, now this is what I was going to say. All right, I think this movie would have been awesome. Like this would have gone from a movie I liked to the movie I loved. If at the end, let's say Dynamo, like he's just why he keeps thinking to himself, why did he save me? He should have just killed me, And that changes who he is, and he comes back and he saves Richards at the end, and he's actually, a changed man, and actually starts helping the resistance.
Well, I see where your head's at, but then that takes away my favorite scene from the movie.
Yeah.
So I have to say
because good old Killian is not the nicest man on the face of the earth.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Who says that? Yeah.
When it comes to anything, he is a.
But we kind of get that from another character we'll talk about later.
Yeah, kind of rude to his employees because he has a bodyguard named Sven that only has one line in this whole entire movie, but it is a great line. Because at one point he yells at Sven,
which I'm thinking he said it in truth and honesty as well.
Yeah.
He asked Sven though too if at one point he asked Sven, do steroids make you deaf, or did the steroids make you deaf? Because
he's just rude and he wants him to escort somebody off the studio.
The greatest stalker of all time.
Yeah,
Captain Freedom.
Captain Freedom. What was he wearing at that point? Like fucking toasters all over him?
Yeah, he was Jesse.
He was not having it.
I could see Jesse Ventura go walking in there. Now that I'm older and I understand like the wrestling business, when it gets to that point, I'll say my thoughts on that. But so Dynamo is incapacitated. Richards is furious. He not Richards, but Killian is furious. He secretly offers Richards a job as a stalker, a 3-year deal, beach house, very nice deal, but he declines. And at this point, Amber and Ben find, what was it? Price or Whitman, Price, and Dodd, who were supposedly the winners in air quotes of last season, but they're
just in a random locker room that they just left in there to starve to death.
Hey,
they just left them in there.
Yeah.
Got to do.
But that's when we also, when this happens, Pyro has been.
No, it's not Pyro.
It's
not the American Gladiator.
It's Fireball.
Oh, Fireball. That's right. Fireball gets let loose by that nice old lady who drops a great F-bomb.
Say it because I know you want to.
This is our one F-bomb for the episode.
Go. You got to say it's part of the movie. You got to say it well.
Yeah.
If it's one of your favorite parts.
No, well, it was a great part, but that it was just, it reminded me of the little old lady from Wedding Singer that plays the piano.
Oh yeah.
And she's just filthy, and like that's how old people used to like. There's like a generation of old women that would just do anything for their favorite pro wrestler. Like if you crossed, like there was a group of Polish people that if you crossed Ivan Putski, oh boy, you were in a world of pain.
They used to talk about this older lady always had a purse. It was like it would always they could always get a rise out of, the wrestlers could. I can't remember her name. I feel like Cornette talked about her, but.
Is that the same one Cornette was talking about? The one lady that loved wrestling so much she's bought into, like she started promoting in Mississippi or something, like a very small area of Mississippi. And he said he hated working there because nobody ever smarted her up to the business. Like she didn't know it was a work.
That's great.
So she would like pay the heels like absolutely no money. and then like over the thing, like all the baby faces. I forgot what story, but it was like this great story that she knew she loved wrestling, and I guess it was the promoter who was running that town was going to go away or get rid of it, but she loved it so much that she just bought the promotion.
That's great.
But I think it was a part of like a bigger one. And Cornette said it was horrible because nobody actually told her it was a work. Like she still thought everything was real, and she treated like the heels like they were shit. He was like, we had to sit in this locker room. He was like, most of my payoffs, for a small place, I get like $100. He was like, I'd be lucky if I could get $25 from her. It was like the funniest story. That's what Cornette said is best when he tells those stories.
Yeah.
But yeah, at this point you could kind of sense the crowds turning in Ben Richards' favor, as quoted by the nice little old lady when Richard Dawson's like, who do you think's gonna die next? Who's gonna have the next kill? Yeah. And she goes, I can pick anyone I choose, and I choose Ben Richards. That boy's one mean motherfucker.
I love it how she says it too.
Yeah, it's so great.
So I know Johnny loves sports betting. Johnny, how did you feel through this too? Where one of the biggest other plot points in this was the constant betting.
Yeah.
I was like, if you know me, that is my favorite thing in the world is sports betting. It has not at all ruined or tarnished sports in any sort of way for me. I'm with you 100%. Great. I'm so glad they included that. The whole sports betting part of this. Yeah. Oh God, I hate sports betting. It's ruined.
I thought it was.
It's ruined sports for me.
The minute I saw that, I was like, I can't wait for Johnny to say something.
Oh God. When sports leagues are literally saying, "Hey, we're in bed with these sporting bet naps," it makes things a little weird to me. I'm just saying.
Are you telling me that there's a possibility that some of these games are being not called right down the middle?
Oh, when the NBA literally has to investigate multiple players for
and
weird,
a referee
and a referee for weird. Well, the referees from bygones ago. I'm talking about recently.
Yeah,
recently they've had to a couple players come under the microscope for some fishy things.
I'll be dipped. So it's a bad
NBA.
thing.
That's just an NBA. NFL, NHL, all of them are in bed with these betting apps. ESPN has its own betting app.
It's owned by Disney. Money.
Yeah. Can you bet on the Running Man?
You can in this movie.
Yeah, in this movie you surely can.
Yeah.
And my money's on Ben Richards.
So they
I did bet on how many old ladies would Dawson kiss, and I picked the over.
Yeah, that's everybody. He wasn't even the first choice either. Good old Richard Dawson.
Oh, we'll get into these. I'll save these because these will be fun.
So they take out a Fireball. That was a pretty good one as they cut his cord because all he cared about was World War II flamethrower guys. And
it reminded me of that's how Batman defeats Bane in the comics.
Oh yeah, pulls the cord out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Here I am. Whoa, I'm going World War II, and you guys are going Bane. I'm like
I was thinking more like the Rocketeer when he just uses bubble gum to fix it. If it just put some bubble gum on it, you'll be fine.
Yeah, could have.
Yeah.
But they take him out, and at this point, Richards and Amber are soon found by the Resistant, led by Mick, who's played by Fleetwood Mac. But Killian at the control center orders retired stalker Captain Freedom to face Richards.
Who's not having it.
No, because he's got to wear a gimmick. He's not doing it. He's not doing it.
Battle of Honor and Gladiator. Yeah. Now, question. When they do that fight scene.
Oh, the CGI one?
Yeah. Do you think that was him, or do you think he had nothing to do with it? Captain Freedom. You think he just walked out and he was done?
Yeah, I think he walked out. So
I like that story better.
There was a test viewing of this. Okay, now tell me what you would think, because we're at this part. I'm going to tell you. So I was reading, I guess there was a test viewing of this where they showed that scene to the audience instead of showing how they made that scene. So it made it look like Captain Freedom because they like CGI.
I see what you're
AI
saying. Yeah.
made Captain Freedom kill Ben Richards, made it look like.
Oh yeah.
So they showed it to the audience, but they didn't show the part where they made it. So it made it so the audience could feel like Ben Richards actually died, and they were like, "Yeah, that was stupid. We don't like that."
I think that would have been
the
would have
better.
been pretty interesting because then you did to the audience exactly what they were
Yeah.
doing to the
I kind of
actual
like
people.
that too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I thought that would have been pretty cool.
That would have made the
Where it's
reveal
like,
of Ben
obviously,
Richards showing up
yeah.
again even cooler. Yeah.
Yeah. Like then they show maybe you have him be killed, and then you have like kind of how they did in the movie where like they show the shot of Richards on the spikes and they take away his face and they show the actual guy who died, and
Yeah,
then they kind of do some dialogue to let you know that that they just made all that up.
Yeah.
I think that would have been better, but
So yeah, I agree.
now I'm kind of upset that I read that. But they find the resistance and they're, like, oh, how come you didn't come and get us sooner? Which makes sense because you do think you're like, how come they didn't come and get them sooner or get any
But
other
plot
runners?
points that way because the movie needed to happen.
Well, plus two, if you leave, they're gonna find you.
That's true because that device that they put in there that they never talked about
They
again.
never talk about. So, this is where Amber discloses that she has the satellite uplink, and they are gonna go raid ICS, the network, and get that so they can upload their video and upload all the proper stuff.
So just a quick little thing. ICS, ISIS.
All right. I think that's enough. 2001 talk going on here. But so this is where Arnold too is like, he wants to just leave. He's like, I'm done. I'll just go out in the world. They already look like they killed me. And then all of a sudden he finds all these little kids that he's like talking about them having guns and trying to take over stuff. And everybody's just a kid. And you need a man. You need a man to lead a resistance. And that man is Arnold. So he grabs Fire AUG and they storm up in there. And then they get the code. Johnny, after Mick gives the kid the code and they upload the video, how do you feel about the Star Trek reference?
I did enjoy that. A big Star Trek nerd over here. So that I love that. The part that I had a problem with is the major reveal is that she has him play the original video of what really happened in that helicopter. Right? She plays the original one. My question is, how does that video even exist?
What do you mean?
Because the video plays and it just plays just like you saw it in the original part of the movie.
Yeah,
at the beginning of the movie, it's the exact
because they already filmed it, Johnny.
There you go. Spaceballs,
but
Johnny.
They
can win the Spaceballs.
It's the same thing.
I mean, down to the guy standing over Arnold from Arnold's point of view and butting him in the face with the end of the gun.
Yes.
They have that footage.
It was on an episode of Cops.
It was
reminded
glorious.
me of, when they always make fun of WWE, like how they would be backstage and there just happens to be a camera there.
Yeah, it's like, hey, I'm going to tell you something, but don't tell anybody else this.
Yeah.
There's a camera right there. Like, I would love for that to happen in a promo once. I got to tell you something, but don't tell anybody. Dude, there's a camera right there.
See? Maybe it was an episode of Cops. It's 2017. There's cameras.
That was my major qualm, but it's like a major plot hole in this whole thing. That video should literally not remotely exist.
And I mean, they don't even explain how she has the footage. Like, she just has it.
They do, because he said, where did you put it?
She goes in and gets it, and then that's when she gets captured, but we don't know where she hid it, and she doesn't tell.
Nope. She's got her secrets.
She's got a WMD.
Arnold's going to go find out later, okay?
Yeah.
Oh, he will, yeah.
We'll go fishing around down there.
So the resistance members take over ICS to prevent the network from disabling the broadcast. ICS resistance forces battle. This is a part where, as an adult, I'm like, whoa. Dynamo attacks Amber.
So the way this shot is filmed is
This
beautiful.
is interesting.
It's such a great because you just see Dynamo come out, right? And you see him in his outfit and everything, right? And he gets real R-wordy, if you'll,
Yeah.
he's gonna show this woman what's what.
Well,
And
she calls him dickless, remember?
yes, but then he responds with, "I'll show you, dickless." What does that mean? What does that even mean?
He's going to show
But
it that he
then
doesn't
they
have a
zoom
dick.
out, and this is the first time you realize he's wearing his undies. Like he doesn't have pants on. Like the whole scene, that little detail is left out.
It took
And
me
then-
years to find this.
Yes, it's
And then-
true. He has no dick.
And then they zoom out, and you just then are realizing he's in his tighty whities, but he still has all the mechanical stuff on the upper half, which makes it all that much better.
I knew minute Johnny was like, I have thoughts. I knew this was probably going to be in there.
Oh, and they're off-white tighty whities, like they've been worn a few times, and they are not pristine as they once were.
It's 2017, hard times.
Oh man, it's so good.
Well, he just
beautiful framing device.
Maybe Arnold felt a little dookie too, but he didn't call him out on it.
Oh, I forgot all about that. And I was in tears laughing. Like he just like he's kind of just like crawling around on the floor with freaking tighty whities on.
It's a heck of a reveal.
But what does that mean? I'll show you what dickless is. What does that even mean?
She kills him by triggering the sprinkler system, so Dynamo meets his end too. So
yeah, it's electrocuted. And
she used a water type to his electricity type.
Yeah. So
like I'm trying to get us into with the Pokemon crowd. Pokemon's big right now, I've heard.
I love Pokemon. I can play Pokemon Go every day. I'm not even lying.
See, there you go. I'm helping out.
So everybody leaves the studio. Is dead.
Good gosh, sorry guys.
There's a good confrontation between Richards and Killian at the end. I really like
puts
this.
him in his jet sled.
Yeah, but this is where Sven comes out.
Yeah,
that's right.
Killian's like,
and they're kind of building it up because we've seen this guy. Yeah. He's like
he's a humongous man.
Yeah, he's a big man.
He played Michael Tank Ellis in Captain
So they're
in the.
Yeah,
that's right.
So they're playing it up like these two are gonna throw down.
Yeah, get ready for a big, awesome.
And
fight.
then Sven with just very meekly, like I had to rewind it because I could barely make it out, but very meekly. What does he even say? He says, "I have to run out to get steroids."
Yeah, or I have to score steroids. I think
that's what it was, which I believe he was going to do. Yeah.
Yeah, which is probably just him just being matter of fact, just saying what he's really going to do.
Yeah.
So he turned around and left. Didn't do a dang thing.
Nope. Yeah. And that was cool because Arnold.
He's tired of being walked all over.
Arnold threw good old Damian Killian in the sled. He sends him through. It explodes.
Why? Why does it explode? It hits a billboard and explodes.
Yeah. So everybody knows billboards are explosive.
I thought about this too. Now, all right. So if you rewatch it, the way that Killian does it is he just has a remote and it goes. Arnold twists something on the sled. So did he twist it to a higher level like the Rockets?
Yeah, because there was no netting for the Rockets to be stopped by earlier in the film.
So you're saying the rocket itself is what blew up?
I'm thinking that's
I'm thinking that it's the billboard. I'll stand by that.
Yeah, I'm thinking it's the rocket. Okay. I'm thinking he jacked it up.
I think they painted that.
Sled.
I think they painted that billboard with flammable paint.
Yeah, it's like they did they wrote Coyote. They did the Roadrunner and Coyote thing where Wale just runs right through it.
So the sign blows up. Killing
like a huge explosion.
Yeah, it's giant. That's got to be like half the budget.
Probably. The audience celebrates. Richards and Amber kiss as the broadcasting network goes offline.
Well, they don't just kiss; they walk off, and he grabs her by the back of the neck again.
Hey, it's the '80s. You got to put him in line there.
I was like, "Good God, Arnold!"
She was into
this
that.
woman's already she's already been she's went through a lot in this movie.
So that's the movie. But
Yeah. Now, okay, let's do these things where who else do we think was in line to be Ben Richards?
yeah,
I'm gonna go Steven Seagal.
no.
Oh, I was gonna go Stallone.
No.
Oh,
Um,
80
Jean-Claude Van Damme.
That's a good one.
Because he was just starting.
Bruce Willis.
No, I was thinking that he would be great too, but then now that I was thinking about that, he was just starting too because Die Hard came out in 87.
So same year this kind of came out.
Yeah,
Okay.
and they downplayed him in that film as well because he was in that.
Bruce Willis was trash back then.
Yeah, he
Well,
was a
he's a
TV
TV
actor.
actor.
Yeah, he's
So
still
I'm trying to think.
Sybil
I'm trying to think
Shepherd
late
was bigger
80s.
than.
Yeah.
O.J. Simpson.
It's two people that you wouldn't.
Chuck Norris.
They're stars, but don't one.
Yeah, give us hints.
Richard
Okay.
Zadar.
The one that everybody talks about, he's pretty super.
Pee Wee Herman.
I guess he had
Oh, Christopher Reeves.
Yep.
Okay,
Okay.
yeah.
And then
Pee Wee
the other
Herman. I know I was
one,
right about that one.
he was too busy trying to get people out of a corner.
Oh, Patrick
That's where
Swayze.
That's where you put Baby. Yeah.
Yeah, you got to put him in that corner.
So those were the two guys.
Interesting.
I can see Swayze in a way. Yeah.
For Killian,
Okay. Yeah. Yeah.
what game show host do you? It was another game show host that they had.
Oh.
Barker.
No.
No. What's that one guy? Chuck something. I always forget his last name.
Chuck Woolery.
Yeah.
Now, the other problems with this is what they're thinking too. What didn't help was the film was supposed to be released in the summer of 87, but they moved it to like November of 87.
Oh, this is a Christmas movie.
Yeah. Yeah. Because they wanted it around there. The only action thriller to be released during the holiday season. That's what these people wanted.
Oh yeah.
Only released on 1,600 screens.
Wow,
Now,
that's pretty limited.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, there was less screens in 2017.
Yeah, so it wasn't a whole lot. So you guys' favorite stalker was Dynamo.
Oh yeah.
Yes. Yeah. What about you, Andrew?
Professor Sub-Zero.
He's my second favorite. Yeah. Yeah.
Fireball was pretty good. I loved his hairdo.
Yeah, that what is it, Sputnik Moreau type
Yeah.
deal
Yeah.
going on there?
Now, a big question: who would we be in this movie?
Oh, if I could be anybody, I wouldn't want to be Ben.
I was gonna say Sven. I'm gonna be Sven.
You're
So
gonna be
I'm gonna be-
Sven?
That's me.
Okay.
I don't have to do anything but just stand there and have one line.
That's not bad.
Yeah.
Hey, all today's work, my friend.
I don't want to be Dynamo. Just it would be
No.
fun to be Dynamo, but I can't sing.
You die.
I can't.
Mm.
The dying part. It's the word that the word that rhymes with grape. That gets,
Yeah, that's the part I
Yeah.
don't care for.
yeah. I wouldn't want to be Buzzsaw. I think I'd probably go Sub-Zero again. Nice
There you go.
part, but
I'm going
To do
Captain
some-
Freedom. The man has morals. He has standards.
Yeah, there we go.
He's
How did
grand
you-
champion.
so how did you like it too when like Killian completely cut him off? Like he was trying to like give this nice monologue, like, oh, here in the locker room, and he's like high-fiving guys, Captain
Yeah.
Freedom, and then all of a
Yeah.
sudden Killian like cuts him off with the story. So for me, for this, another reason why I think I enjoy this so much, and I'm not saying it's on par, but I feel Richard Dawson gives a Raul Julian Street Fighter type.
Oh yeah, yeah.
It's not-
Like
it's
he's
not-
great.
It's
I would
not,
say it's not as good as that, but I see what you're saying.
yeah, that's what I'm
Yeah.
trying to get at. I'm not saying it's as good, but
He's very good in this. I think he's very good in this. Yeah.
You could
where-
tell he was. That was some deep rooted stuff that he's probably wanted to do and say for years, being a game show host for all those years.
Yeah.
So he was really just hamming it up and just having a great time.
well, I guess that's how he is in real life.
Got to eat up all that scenery. Yeah. Now, here comes the moment I think we're all been waiting for. Will,
Yeah,
The attractive meter, I tell you, from a traditional attractiveness standpoint, I mean, you got to go with Amber Mendez. She's a spicy Latin number, very beautiful, very easy on the eyes. But I'm gonna tell you who did it for me, and it was from that beautiful underwear that he was wearing. It's got to be Dynamo.
Oh, I thought you were gonna say the bad mouth old lady.
Well, she was up there, but I'll tell you that underwear did it for me. Now, if the old
I
lady
would've-
would have showed me her underwear,
I would
maybe.
I would have picked any of those dancing ladies because they all had some really nice booties on display.
Yeah. Well, I tell you who else did was Dynamo. Let's tell you, showing that can off. Woo!
But I also agree with Johnny that every time I saw like the dance scenes, all I
Yeah.
could think was of Nitro.
Oh, yeah,
It's
for
every-
sure.
every
All I
Nitro.
could think
Yeah.
of was
Yeah.
Nitro.
It's
I
Nitro
wonder
girls.
if you went back and watched it, maybe Paula Abdul's in the background there somewhere.
Maybe.
Maybe, yeah.
You know?
Well, this
They
movie
could-
can't
they
be as
could not
lucky as
afford-
back of me to have Jennifer Aniston dancing.
Yeah, in her first role.
Yeah. Such a
It was
Yeah.
all downhill from there for her.
I tell you that. I'd rather watch that.
Career-wise.
I'd rather watch Mac than Friends any day.
And I think
Yeah, I agree.
the other two that gets me is it's the American Gladiators feel of it too.
Oh
I was
yeah,
a
yeah.
big
Yeah.
American Gladiators fan, and this
I loved American Gladiators as a kid. So yeah.
I loved that referee yelling, "Gladiators running!"
Yep.
Challengers
Yep.
running. But so
I've
let's
always
go-
wanted to fight someone with a giant Q-tip.
Who doesn't? Yeah.
I wonder how much those toys are.
Not much. You can get them for pretty cheap.
Well, that's probably why the Running Man didn't succeed, is because they didn't have a toy line.
They could have done toys easily.
Yeah, for sure.
He-
You could
These
have
are
a Domino.
great.
Who would want a special edition Dynamo with just his underwear?
That's gonna be Will's.
He comes with his golf cart.
secret.
Dude, I wouldn't be surprised. They're currently making the entire gang of Clarence Bodiger from RoboCop in action figure
Oh, there
form.
you go.
The entire gang. I would not be surprised one day if we get a underwear sporting Dynamo.
Does it come with melted face? Does the one guy come with a melted?
Yeah,
face?
yep. He comes with because he the toxic sludge.
Oh, we got
Wow.
RoboCop one day.
So
Such a childhood hero of mine, RoboCop.
It saves Sting.
Paul Verhoeven is a wonderful film director.
Yeah, and I
He's
guess
never
they
made a
had-
bad film.
They had like 20 different, like 3 different directors on this, and they,
Yeah, I looked up the director on this and it didn't look like he did anything that was of note. Some
He's-
Starsky and Hutch episodes.
because I think he's like the original Starsky or Hutch.
Oh, really?
Oh yeah. Well, okay. Well,
That's oh yeah, look at this.
and he didn't do anything in film. He's mostly television. Because these are his film credits as a director. Johnny's gonna love these. All right. So his first one is Band of the Hand, 1986. The next one is The Cutting Edge. I think that's the figure skating movie. Yeah. Next one is the Kevin Bacon basketball movie, The Air Up There.
I love that movie.
I knew it the minute I said that. So I said I knew.
I have very vivid childhood memories of watching that movie
Oh.
multiple times. It came on, the very famous one we talked about where you get like a free HBO for a weekend. And that was one of the movies that would play, and mom recorded it for me, and I wore that tape out because it's a basketball movie.
So,
But his final film, speaking of basketball,
oh yes, also producer and story writer, Kazam.
That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
This got rules.
Johnny this movie got bumped up because
This honestly helps this movie a lot in my eyes.
but other than that, he did like Miami Vice, Judging Amy.
yeah, he
All-
was Starsky and Starsky and Hutch.
And then the guy that did the score for this also did the score, I believe, for Top Gun and something else.
Wow, no.
So yeah, Beverly Hills Cop, Top Gun, Tango and Cash. He's got something in there.
All right, what are we rating this out of?
Much. Ah,
How many stalkers?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. How
Okay.
many stalkers out of 5? How many stalkers, Andrew?
Wait, off-white pairs of underwear. Oh no, but how many stalkers?
Yeah, I think we'd rather do stalkers than underwear.
Uh, I'll go for I love this movie. This is my, like I said, my favorite Arnold movie. Saw it as a young child. Thought it was great. As I get older, it gets cooler because the things that they talk about are things that we could kind of relate today. Even if we get into like the sports betting, the over the topness of
Even the deep fake.
yeah, the deep fake,
Yeah.
the overtopness of reality shows where we want them to be reality, but they're all just scripted anyways. And everybody's trying to top somebody to get somebody to watch it.
Yeah.
It just, I think that really helps me. But as a kid, it was mostly the action. And Richard Dawson is just, like I said, I believe delivers a great performance. I give this 4 out of 5 stalkers.
Will.
I'll give it a 3.5 out of 5 stalkers. It's it's just a wonderful slice of 80s cinema. I would say it's probably not one of Arnold's more talked about roles. It kind of slides under the radar there. But I mean, it's a great film. Holds up pretty well. And I think being a pro wrestling fan and someone who grew up with American Gladiators maybe puts it in a higher light than those who maybe don't like pro wrestling or don't know about American Gladiators. But it's a great film.
I struggled as I was watching this, trying to think of, is this one of those movies that's not what you would call a good movie, but it's a very fun movie. It makes any sense. Like I enjoyed my time watching this movie, but it's not going to, it should not have, and it didn't win any awards. That type of thing.
No,
but it knows
it's not
what
that
it
type
is.
of movie.
No,
But it knows what it is, and I ended up really enjoying myself watching this, and I hadn't seen this movie in gosh, 20 years probably easily. I really enjoyed it. It's a fun, goofy ride in a way. I mean, it's violent, but I think 3.5 is very fair. So I'm gonna go 3.5 out of 5 stalkers as well. I enjoyed this movie. It's on YouTube for free if anybody wants to watch it.
yeah, it's like so the way that you guys talk about the movie, and I could agree if it's not like your favorite or anything. It is I remember going to McDonald's to pick up breakfast one time, and the Canadians were returning. They would order that McDonald's big breakfast where you get the eggs and the pancakes and the biscuit, and they were returning it saying it wasn't very good. And I was thinking in my head, you're ordering this from McDonald's. This is not the place that you order that from. So you should just enjoy it. You should enjoy it because you know
what it is.
You know what it is. And I feel this movie is the exact same way you guys said it. Is it a good Denny's Grand Slam while you're hammered out of your mind at 3:00 in the morning? No, it's not going to taste like that. But is it a McDonald's breakfast because you're on the go and you just, feel the need for pancakes without having to make them at home or sit down somewhere else to eat them? That's what this is. It's satisfying. It's not going to change the world. It's just there to give you a little satisfaction there. I can't even talk.
Yeah, satisfied. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it is what it is, and it knows what it is, and it leans into it.
Yeah.
Yeah, like my engorged...
It's a better film for it, and engorged penises.
Yeah, like my engorged penis.
You had to throw that in there, didn't you?
Well, that's why he...
Okay.
That's why he was so smitten with her.
So next...
I've learned so much.
So next week, we are doing WrestleMania matches from youth. So you get pick one. I gotta say that definitely to Will, because Will likes to try and throw in like 9 different things.
That's all right.
Could see he was that kid that you'd
this is gonna be tough for me.
Just one match. So
no, not because of that. Because when I was a kid, I was a WCW kid, so I didn't actually watch. I didn't watch many WrestleManias until I got older.
Then go to Starrcade. You could go to Starrcade.
No, I got to do WrestleMania. It's
Okay,
WrestleMania.
so
season.
go WrestleMania. If you guys need it, if you guys need time, because we're just gonna do one match per week for each of us. So if you need time to think of it, or if you want to go first or anything, let me know.
So this is gonna be 3 episodes, is what you're saying?
Yeah, it's 3. It's
There we
one.
go.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
We're breaking it apart. We're not gonna try and watch all these.
got you.
But if you need me to go first or anything,
Oh,
I already know what mine.
I already got mine, so I'm good.
Okay, so
We're gonna have to talk to each other to make sure we don't pick the same match.
I'm pretty sure nobody's picking mine.
No, there's so many.
Mine involves a Bronco.
Oh, that's a good one. I can't wait to rewatch
Mine-
that.
Mine
That's gonna
does
be tough
not.
to watch though. It's all different parts. I gotta watch the whole damn event.
Mine does not. Mine does not involve a Bronco.
Mine involves a murderer.
Mine
So I guess we're
involves-
kind of close.
Mine
Yeah.
involves a racist and a bigot.
Man, this is gonna be great.
Yeah.
You know what would be really great is how many guys are actually still alive in these matches.
No, that's
I don't wanna-
depressing. I don't want
I
to
don't want
cry.
to do that. I do not want to do that.
But that is it. So we on the Nostalgia Funhouse YouTube channel, every Wednesday now there will be a video released of Matt Johnson and I doing retro fantasy football.
Oh, nice.
Check that out every Wednesday. Retro fantasy football on the Nostalgia Funhouse YouTube network or channel, not network. It's
Make
actually-
sure you check out Matt's YouTube
Yes.
Yeah,
channel.
doing great.
He does lists on his channel.
Yep.
What's it called? What's his channel
Eat, Sleep
called?
List.
Eat Sleep List. Make sure you check that out.
And because Matt does all of our shorts and he does all the editing for the retro fantasy too as well. So big shout out to Mr.
Yeah.
Matt
And
Johnson.
stay tuned for when we force him to be on here to review a Reba McEntire album.
I
And
can't
making me
wait.
barbecue.
While
Yeah,
he's eating barbecue.
the whole time.
Oh, he's gonna eat all the barbecue and enjoy it. But that is it from Will, Johnny, and I. What may not be nostalgia for some, maybe nostalgia for you.